Good day, everyone. I am Darhyn Flores from BSED-2 English, and today I am going to share the story of Cephalus and Procris, a two married couple. A love story that unfortunately ended up into a tragedy. It is the story of Cephalus, a son of god Hermes and hers, and the Athenian princess Procris. This story starts with the two newly married couple, Cephalus and Procris. Cephalus is a hunter, and Procris is a third daughter of the Athenian king Erectus and Praxithea. The two newly married couple live in the mortal world, happily and just loving each other. But then there's the goddess of dawn, Aurora, that has the power to usher her brother Helios, the sun, and put her sister Selene, the moon, to rest, fell in love with Cephalus. Because of Aurora's love towards Cephalus, he brings Cephalus to heaven far from its wife. But Cephalus really loved his wife. When he's stolen away by Aurora, the gorgeous goddess of dawn, he stays true to his wife. In fact, he goes on about Procris so much that Aurora gets fed up with him and sends him back to her. But before sending him back, Aurora warns Cephalus, saying, "If you will go back to your wife, you'll regret it." But Cephalus never listened to her. Cephalus got back to his wife Procris and continued living happily with her. On the other hand, Procris is a very beautiful princess. That's why the goddess of hunting, Diana, is so fond with her and gave her gifts. A dog named Laelaps that could always catch his prey, and a javelin that could always hit its target. Diana, the goddess of hunting, gave it to Procris. And since Procris has a husband that loves hunting, she gives those gifts to her husband Cephalus. And Cephalus always goes into his hunting together with those gifts, the dog Laelaps and the javelin. Then, it turns out that an unknown god has created and let loose a fox to harass the countryside. The townspeople are unable to capture the fox, so they asked Cephalus if he would help. Cephalus lets loose his dog after the fox, and his dog takes off too fast that no one could follow him with their eyes. The people go to a hilltop to watch the hunt when all of a sudden, both animals come to an immediate stop. The gods had turned both animals into stone because, being that both were gifts from the gods, they couldn't have one beat the other. So life continued happily and the same as before, even though Cephalus' dog Laelaps had been turned to stone. He still had his javelin and went hunting daily with it. One day, after becoming tired from hunting, Cephalus takes a break by a stream. He takes off his clothes and was saying things to the breeze like, "Please come and fan my chest, breeze. You know how I love you. You make my solitary hunting trips so pleasant." Well, as it turns out, someone was walking and heard Cephalus talking to someone like that and rushes to tell Procris about her cheating husband. Procris first faints and then she comes to doesn't believe it. She says that she won't believe it until she hears and sees it herself. So the next day, she sneaks out and follows Cephalus as he hunts. Then when he takes his usual break by the stream to cool off, he begins talking to the breeze the same way. Procris is hiding in the bushes and hears it all. She begins to cry softly and Cephalus hears the noise from the bushes. He thinks it's a wild animal, so he throws his javelin, the one Procris gave him, and it hits her. He hears his wife cry out, and when he goes over, he sees her bleeding and dying. They both try to stop the bleeding, but it doesn't work. As Procris is dying, she makes one last wish her husband. She says, "If you can do me one favor after I'm dead, please just don't marry that horrible breeze." Cephalus understands the confusion, but it's no use to tell her. She dies, and somehow he is able to relate the confusion to his wife, and her face becomes calm in death. And that will be the ending of the story of Cephalus and Procris, a love story of the two newly married couple that unfortunately end up their story into a tragedy. Hope you love this story. Thank you so much for listening.